We all know how social media giants use our data and sell it off essentially to all the advertisers on their network. They can use that so they can target direct advertising to our preferences and to our demographics, everything around that. And we have absolutely no control over it. Essentially, we give up that data for their services. Now, Smart Places Protocol flip that narrative, and instead of us just freely giving it away, we take that back into our own control. And it's an opt-in system on their social media platform that they're building out, and they're engaging and building out some really cool, interesting mechanisms on there and incorporating blockchain into it as well. So I really like their play on this and how they're going to approach it. So it's a really, really interesting interview. I have a couple of the team members joining me on this one, Hung, Bjorn, and Andre, all joining me to talk about the project so we can learn more about it, how things are going to work, their NFT sale that's coming up, and their future ISPO, which they've partnered up with a bunch of small stake pool operators as well. So it's a really interesting way that they're doing this, and I'm really looking forward to learning more and participating in the ecosystem. Let's get into the interview.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast.
I have the team from Smart Places Protocol join me on this podcast to talk about a really cool project that they're building out. It's changing how social media works, putting the user back in control, and having this mechanism called Connect to Earn, which I kind of really like. Throw it back at the face of Facebook and all those other social media giants, and putting the power back into the people. Gentlemen, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
So let's get into a little bit about your backgrounds quickly first so we know who we're talking about. So Hung, you're the founder and CEO of Smart Places Protocol. Could you give us a little bit of an introduction about yourself and how you got into the crypto space?
Yeah, sure. My name is Hung. I'm the CEO and founder of Smart Places. I've been working for like more than 10 years in the asset management businesses, dealing with real estate. And it's now like 4 years ago when we first initially had the idea of Smart Places. And from that day on, I've decided to fully quit my full-time job and fully dedicated my life with building that application. And my first contact to blockchain and crypto was like 2.5 years ago, when good friends and business partners of us who are also working on this project said that we had so many blockchain elements in our application. And thinking about this and doing my research, this totally captivated me. This whole idea of decentralization and trying to understand this distributed ledger technology, what it means, why this is a big revolution in the future, this blockchain technology. So my approach was more like the academic and analytical approach, reading dozens of white papers, trying to understand the fundamentals, beginning from proof of work, this Byzantine general problem, and all those academic stuff behind this. And as we were striving to build also a sustainable and a product which brings real value to the people, we said that we wanted to build something sustainable based on also much thoughtful processes. And that's why regarding when it comes to Cardano, totally the credo to build something really sustainable and based on academic research, fully matched with our vision and credo. So that's why we decided to go to Cardano.
That's fantastic. All right. And we'll dig into what Smart Places is all about in a second as well. Bjorn, can you talk about your experience into the crypto space and how you got into the Cardano ecosystem?
Yes. First of all, thanks again, Pete, for having us. My name is Bjorn. I have a legal background, actually. So I worked in the past for some law companies and audit companies, and also have a corporate background. So I was a co-founder of a data privacy company, also IT development company. So that is actually the main reason how I came in touch with the blockchain, because from a legal perspective, the blockchain in general is totally exciting, right? Because you in a lot of manner, but just as an example, you have this transparency on the one hand, you have this ways and opportunities of acting anonymous. So that is in general, from a legal perspective, interesting. From a data privacy perspective, even more. So this excited me really a lot. And also when it comes to smart contracts, right? So the legal sector is very traditional and old-fashioned somehow. And so this is some kind of revolutionary when it comes up to smart contracts. So that excited me also a lot. So that were the first touch points with the blockchain. And when it comes to Cardano, I was totally impressed about this scientific approach, this solid foundation that this platform brings with it, right? So having everything peer reviewed and so on. So that was, for me, totally exciting on the one hand. And secondly, this community aspect, I also was fascinated of, because it really seems, and we see it every day on our Discord channel, that the community is so open-minded and so positive and open for new projects and new approaches also. And so this combination really makes me very confident that we are on the right platform.
I feel like everyone in the crypto space is ripe for disruption, changing the way things work at the moment and looking for new innovation. And a lot of people don't take it for granted, but legal aspects are in such high demand, and having a legal expert on the team is probably really key, especially when it comes to the data and the privacy, which Smart Places taps into a lot. So it's probably really good that you're on the team there. And Andre, what about yourself in regards to your exposure into the crypto industry and into Cardano?
Yeah, I've been in the Cardano space for quite a while. I think I'm in my 8-9 year in crypto, but I've been in Cardano all since Charles Hoskinson decided to leave Ethereum, and have actually followed the progress since then. I've been full-time for some while, and I actually come into contact with Smart Places because I work on the other project on Cardano. And I became an advisor last year for the project, but after speaking a lot with Björn and Hung and seeing what their vision was and how open they were, we decided I was added as a team member, and I'm really looking forward to this journey with Smart Places. And one of the things you said with Björn's background was really important for me, because you are going up against the big ones. We are trying to decentralize social media, and that's something big. That's something you don't do in a day. And I think we have the right team now to actually go on and do these things. So I'm really pleased being a part of Smart Places now and what we actually can do. I'm not new to Cardano, and this is kind of familiar to me, and the things we are doing now with Cardano is something that really excites me. We have so many things that we can't speak at this point, but we will in just a few weeks. So we have a lot coming up. And I think I'm looking forward to just being on this trip with Björn and Hung.
Yes, and you've all mentioned little aspects about Smart Places, and I do see you in a lot of communities and all over on Twitter as well. So it's good to finally actually connect and talk as well. But you guys have alluded to a little bit about what Smart Places is all about. Could I get the general overview of the project and what you're trying to achieve and what you're trying to break down in the current environment as it is?
Because this Smart Places, what we're trying to do is to take social media to blockchain. We want to decentralize the aspects that is possible to decentralize, because you can't go and say you want a 100% decentralized system. So we say that we are a social ecosystem building on blockchain, and we will decentralize all aspects as we go. But you don't want maybe your post or updates to be there forever. If you have a late night post, you should be able to change that. So what we're actually doing is looking at the social media, how it's built today. You don't have a decentralized aspect. You don't know what data they share. You only know that they share some of the data. And some of the data with data monetization is something you need to do to actually have some kind of revenue. But what we want to do is not to store any personal information. We don't want to go into that at all. We want to have a social ecosystem where we decentralize all aspects regarding to data monetization, so users could actually check what data that is being shared. And if they don't want anything to be shared, they could also just opt out. This is something you need to opt in to actually to get. And then when you have data monetization, and we say that users of these social ecosystems are actually where the value is created. You are the content creator as a user on the system, and you also should be rewarded after that. So we want to build a system that actually reward users for using it, but they are already creating the revenue themselves by actually using the system. And we also have different kinds of revenue streams that will come afterwards. But if you take the app and see what will this be for the users, then it's several layers in the app. You have the layer 1 that is actually kind of similar to social media as we know today, where you have Twitter, Facebook, you have a standard where you have status updates, you have likes, you could do these kinds of things. But where Smart Places actually comes alive is in the layer 2, where we actually activate geocaching or geolocation. When you then interact, you always interact with people just in the vicinity and friends that you already have added. So there's actually a system where you come in contact with new people, and there is events you could be on. There could be concert, there could be different events that we actually have in place now that will be beach cleaning, these kinds of things that you could also interact with. But if we say, and the layer 2 then is, there is a lot more we could do with a layer that actually has geolocation. And then we are talking about different things with where we could add not from only geolocation, but we add geocaching, and we could do different fun things inside of Smart Places. So it will be also afterwards, we will add a cam view where you actually could use your cam on your mobile and you could see things that Smart Places or other ecosystem has added out, like airdrops or other things that but we also want to be really clear that this is a ecosystem that is really fresh. We need to have the community on board on the decision we want to do, and we want to evolve with the users as we go. So we have plans for voting. We have different plans to do these things.
Okay. There are a lot of aspects there that we need to break down. So it's everything from being able to control your data that gets used on the platform. So it's an opt-in only revenue model. So that leads me down the path of me as a business owner trying to advertise on the platform. How much reach will that actually get? Because like Facebook ads is so targeted. I can say I want to advertise my product to females in my area that are in a particular age demographic, and having that really targeted ad campaign is really beneficial because I know my cost per click is very optimized. How does that work on your platform for an advertiser that wants to connect to a user base like that? Because now you're not collecting that precise data. How can I get a really good cost per click for that kind of thing?
That is actually the user. When you create an account at Smart Places, it's really easy. You just need your name, your username. And when you then connect to the app, you could add different things if you want to. Then you could add age, you could add male, female, these kinds of things that will actually add to the data monetization, and you will actually earn more for actually monetize that data. And we have done a lot with also one of our partners, IMX, that is in digital identity. And what we actually want to do is to create DID compartments that you could actually, in some time, we could identify this person directly. But we want to be really careful on how we implement digital identities in the social media aspects. So there are things we need to check, because the first DID solution, I think, is IMX solution that is coming in June. So we want this system to be up, to be running, to be optimized, and seeing that everything is good. And then there will be an opt-in where you could retrieve your credentials. You could even do KYCs through IMX, and that will make your rewards even higher when you are interacting in the ecosystem. But we want also it to be really clear that if you don't want to share anything, if you don't want to do anything, you won't get rewarded for using the ecosystem, because there won't be a revenue. But every time there is a revenue created, then you will also get rewards for it. And that's for ads, for example. If you click on an ad, or if you even get an ad displayed to you, then you earn revenue. So we always want to incentivize people for doing these things, but it will always be up to the user to decide what is going to be out there.
Just to add that, sorry, that's totally agree on that. We are always following the data monetization principle. So always keep the amount of personal data as low as possible. But of course, if users opt in or decide for adding something, and maybe in order to monetize more, then they can do this. But that is an additional step.
And I love that approach. I didn't realize that incentive for the actual user to earn the tokens or rewards within the platform to give more data. So if I'm willing to, then hey, look, I'm earning a little bit extra. Here's a little bit more data to get better targeted ads towards me, and have the advertisers a little bit more appealing for them to use the platform. So that's really cool. That's a really nice approach. I like that. Now, you also mentioned some other aspects around this, and the mobile side of things, and the geolocation and the geocaching as well, which I absolutely love. I play geocaching games and collect little treasure map things. It's a lot of fun, especially when you go out with the kids. So I'm trying to envisage how the actual platform would work. Is it like a mobile first platform, and it will all be on a mobile app? Can you explain and describe the vision of how a user would go through and use the platform?
Exactly. Maybe in short, this is mobile first. Maybe a short background how we came to this idea. Because we are Berlin-based in Berlin, Germany, a city with millions of people directly around you. But despite that, you are living in such a metropolitan. There are so many situations where you wish to also connect with other people who are directly around you, whom you don't know first. And for such situation, myself, I found this problem that there's no technical solution how to connect with those people directly around me. So what I wanted to have is like a mobile application where I don't have to sign up with an account, don't disclose any information for me, just broadcast my idea, which I have spontaneously on that spot and that location for a certain amount of time. And to broadcast this to my direct vicinity in order to connect with people. There are so many use cases for such an application. For example, and this is my favorite use case. For example, let's say you're at your favorite beach and you love it, and after in the evening everybody's leaving and the beach is full of trash. And if you have this application, you can just spontaneously broadcast your idea. Hey, I'm up here to clean the beach. Who wants to join me, for example? And just like that, you can connect in real life situations with people, but also totally other setups. For example, when it comes to university, you know the situation. You come out of the class, you didn't understand anything, and how would it be if you had a technical solution where you can broadcast your idea and your thoughts and to connect with other people without having an intermediary collecting your data or make use of those data against you. You decide how the data are disclosed. We want that they are stored decentralized, and this is for us the real utility what would bring to the normal users and for our users. And with such an application, we had so many talks with so many people regarding this, and had very good feedbacks regarding this kind of function. And with such kind of application also, we think that we have something which can bring the benefits of the blockchain technology to the masses. Yeah, and this is what we're definitely heading at, to mass adoption with such an application. This is one aspect regarding this layer 2, where we say that we have this geolocation-based application, but also we have this other layer where we say it's not only restricted to your direct environment, but also to what we know as the classic social media platforms, where you post on boards and your thoughts and ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love that use case there with the broadcasting of the message, and users at the beach can join and connect together and do something really cool and have that physical connection with other people. Like I find with a lot of social media these days, like you go to a cafe or something and people are just staring at their phones, just scrolling through, and I'm one of them. So how does the connect to earn system work on the platform? So this is the incentive and rewards for users on the platform. We know that if we share data, and advertisers can get more targeted data, and you get reward for that. But what about other aspects of actually engaging on the platform? Do users earn anything from those aspects?
So this regarding our tokenomics, we have a bunch of tokens set aside for the reward pool, saying that for each contribution from the users, they will get rewarded directly from this reward pool. And of course, the idea behind this is that all those early adopters or early contributors who will build this huge this network, which because when we are talking about mass adoption, and all those environments where people have to activate the app in order to be able to connect with other people, we have to gain this traction, and somehow then to incentivize people to engage in such activities. And when we will come to a point where this is like perceived by the masses, then we're at the stage that all those early contributors directly benefit from early adopting and contributing to the system. So this is what we interpret as a connect to earn, that you from yourself contribute to this ecosystem, to this network, and therefore getting rewards for this. And also we have this other aspect, what we also call this connect to earn, and this is directly linked to our NFT sales. This ownership of a real world location, what is mapped into our system, meaning that you also as a land plot owner, as an owner of a smart place, and smart places, what we call crowded places, yeah, that you can also connect from, that you can also benefit and get rewarded from all those activities happening on your smart place, on your land plot. And so this is what we call like an inclusive economy, where we also give everybody the opportunity to build this ecosystem and also to participate in the gains when this ecosystem evolves and comes to a stage where it's attractive for businesses and when the revenues comes in and so on.
All right, the whole NFT and smart places side of things, and we'll talk about that and the metaverse play there as well. But before we do, I just want to touch on the data and privacy and just make sure that's really clear there. So for a platform to be able to advertise to the users, the data's got to be stored somewhere, right? Like some sort of database, and then it will connect that way, and advertisers, the website will connect the advertisers to that particular data. How are you guys protecting users' data? Because like we've seen that Cambridge Analytica issue with Facebook, and someone data mining all that data and then on selling it to other people. How can you protect people's data on your platform so that nothing like that could ever happen?
I think this aspect, as mentioned, for me personally, totally important that we are GDPR compliant. So we put a lot of emphasis on that. And that includes, especially when we are talking about the past and what happened in other companies, for us, that starts in thinking about what data are really necessary. So if we would collect all these data, private data, then you in general have this risk of data breaches and so on, or just thinking about revenues that companies wanted to create. So our starting point is to say we don't need these data. We don't have to have all these private data, and that's why there are not that risks for data breaches, and for us, no opportunity to make a revenue out of that. What we collect are more or less general information, so like statistics and or more general information like in what daytimes users use the social media, for example, because that are still very valuable data, especially because we are partnering with the Ocean Protocol. So a decentralized data marketplace, and with them we have the access to these data consumers, but connected via the Ocean Protocol. So that ensures that we have always this security level, which makes sure and the users also have the security that we don't sell any data or collect any data or doing any kind of profiling. We don't want to do this, and we will not do this.
Okay, all right, fantastic. I know that's going to be one major thing that people keep on asking. It's you don't want to use these social media platforms because of all that data and what's being mined. I stopped using Facebook because of those reasons, and it's really good that you're taking that approach. So I absolutely love that. Now, so going back to the NFT side of things, so you're having this NFT sale and creating and selling these unique smart places on the platform. How does this actually work? I saw a little video that talked about it, but I'd like to dig in more and get a really detailed explanation of how that all works.
We have smart places. You have a grid that is over the entire world that actually makes hexagons out of real world places. The early adopters, what we call smart places pioneers, they that actually buy these land plots, they will, if you go for example, the Eiffel Tower, you know that there will happen a lot there. A lot of picture will be posted, a lot of updates, and if all these interaction happens on your land plots, then you actually share the revenues from everything that is happening there. We also are creating a backend system for businesses that is actually on these plots. So if you own a plot and you know that I want to do something, I want to onboard a business, you could go to a business that is in your land plots. It might even be a coffee shop, and they could register their business on the Smart Places websites, and they will be put up on the map. And they will also have like an event button. So if they say that today we have 20% off on coffee, if anybody buys a coffee there, you get rewarded in tokens for buying a coffee. The business actually pays a little revenue or percentage of the revenue because they have a new revenue stream now with new people coming in. And it's all about sharing that with the NFT holders, with the businesses, with everybody that is actually included in the ecosystem. So yeah, I think we have a good way of that actually these pioneers could do something themselves without us having to micromanage everything that is being done.
Okay, all right. So these NFT smart places are reflections of real world places?
Yes, they are.
Right. Okay. So I can possibly own the coffee shop down the road here as an NFT. Based on the location where it is, and then the business will register within that location. Okay, wow, that's really interesting. And it's a reflection of the globe, I'm assuming as well. And so there's going to be a lot of land titles.
It's going to be a lot of land titles, and we're actually talking about billions of plots. But of course, we have limits on how many you could mint. And there will also be possible to move these places. So if you mint one of those spots and you say, oh, a year afterwards something happens and this isn't a spot that actually people interact anymore, then you could move that spot to another area that is available, or you could of course buy from secondhand markets these plots that is already minted. But we don't want to make a system where you actually have these plots all over that aren't used. We want to have all of them used all the time.
That sounds really lucrative for anyone that wants to have one of these NFTs to have a smart places tile in the ecosystem. That's really, really cool and really attractive. So I really like that. When is your NFT sale? Is it coming up soon?
Yeah, it's the 30th of April. So it's coming fast now. Yeah.
Yep. Very, very soon then. Okay. And how many are you going to actually release in this one? Because like you said, there's going to be billions, possibly billions of tiles, but you're going to have a limited series and set of the release.
Yes, we have a release now on 5,000 plots that is priced at 49 ADA per each plot, because we want people to take part of this with a value that they actually don't need to overpay, because some of these prices of metaverses and plots and these kinds of things has been a little high, and we want everybody to participate in it from the start. So it's 49 ADA and 5,000 plots that will be released on Saturday, the 30th of April.
Okay. I'm just trying to visualize this as well with the plots. Is it a random mint, or would I be actually minting a location that I choose? How is that going to work? Because there'll be really desirable locations, right? That people want.
That's the fun thing about it. We have it will already be up pretty soon. It's actually a map. You go into the map, you choose the spots you want to mint, and we are partnered up with NFT makers. So when you have chosen the spots, you are getting redirected to NFT maker to mint those exact spots. But that also means that at 4 UTC, then everybody's open. It's open for everybody to buy their exact plots. And we have also Boris Dennis Mittman as an advisor on the Plutus side. He's a Plutus pioneer, Prism pioneer, and is known in this space. And he had made the minting system. And there is a lot that has to be done to actually being able to mint when you choose it through a map. We are, of course, there will be a lot of people going on the maps at the same time, and we also have to have a live system that actually say that, no, this is occupied. So when you are minting, you will actually see spots around you getting picked as you mint. So it's, yeah, and we have said that nothing is going to be reserved. So nothing is reserved for the team partners. Everything will be open when the mint starts. So if you're the first one, then you could choose the spots you want.
Whew, this one's going to be a hard one. Loading up a map, interactive map, and then trying to purchase the spot that you want. That's going to be really, really interesting.
And it's also kind of a challenge now, of course, for our potential buyers, right? Because they now have to make their thoughts about what is the best spot, what is the potential best smart place. So at what place people are basically will interact with each other. So what is beneficial to buy? Is it better to have the Eiffel Tower, for example, or better to have a mall? Better to have whatever places, and that's what we right now have as discussions on our Discord channel. So the users they think a lot and make their mind about what are the best places. Would be interesting as well. What do you think? What would be your favorite smart place?
Me, first thing that came to mind was Vegas, but So it's interesting that the NFTs coming into play. We know how advertisers can use the platform through advertising on the platform and targeting users, and also businesses listing within the smart places as well, and doing deals in there. That's really cool. Are there any other aspects around that advertisers can tap into?
Yeah, we have a partnership that is coming up pretty soon with Advanced Store. That's actually the biggest one at mobile affiliate marketing, and that means that we get access to the right brands, and we get access to the brands that we actually want to implement. So if there are, for example, things with companies that a plot owner wants to have, and we already have that company as an affiliate deal, then he could put a pointer on the map and actually and actually have that affiliate too on the map. So, but there is a lot of marketing aspects, and we don't want to, because after this conversation, it looks like there will be ads everywhere, and it's not like it. You will actually have a map overview over the map, and you can see these different store that is on top. On the other way, you actually have directory where you could go through all these different affiliates. So if you're going to rent a car, you could go there and you could rent a car through the system. You get tokens and you get a discount on what you actually are doing. So you could use it as a travel app, going to a new city, getting discount on hotels, rental cars, and those kinds of things. But we have to build a directory on it because we don't want it to be ads everywhere. So if you actually want to have a specific use case, you could search it up and you could use that specific use case instead of getting ads everywhere for things you don't want.
Gotcha. Okay. Very interesting aspect there. So directory-based search through the locations and what people are actually after. Okay, very cool. Now, you guys also have another aspect that's coming up, and that's the ISPO, the initial stake pool offering. What are the details around that, and why are you guys doing an ISPO for your tokens?
We have actually a different kind of ISPO than you are used to. Usually you have an ISPO, then you have several pools that are involved with it. We are going to have it a little different. We are having one pool that is a high margin pool to actually get in some revenues from the ISPO in exchange of tokens. But we're also using stake pool operators on the Cardano blockchain. So we are picking out a set of numbers, and we're already in contact with a few of them. And we say we have the one pool that is 99% margin, but if the users want to have their ADA and they want these tokens instead, it's possible to stake with already or single stake pool operators on the chain and still be able to get the tokens while they get the ADA. Of course, it's not a 99% margin. It will be as what the pool has as a margin, but it will be included a lot of stake pool operators. And we have said that we are never going to have more. It will be that single pool that we runs. And if we need more stake pool operators, there is enough of struggling stake pool operators on Cardano. So there's not a problem finding them.
Yeah, that is definitely the truth. I've been lucky as a stake pool operator to partner up with a lot of different projects to get to where I am. So I'm sure there'll be a massive lineup of SPOs that will want to be a part of that system. How many pools have you signed up already?
We have about 4 now that we are thinking about, and we need to. We always need to look at the percentage that each pool has. And see how many we could, so we still get some revenue off the ISPO, because it's a big system that we are building, and we need a lot of marketing to actually get where we want to go, and that is to challenge the big ones. So there's no point of hiding that we need income to actually do what we want to do.
Yep, definitely. And I guess that's where the NFT sale comes into play. You can generate some revenue from that to actually give the users some utility, open up a secondary marketplace, ISPO, you get some revenue from there. Are you doing any other token sales or any other fundraising as well?
Yeah, we have a sale. I don't know if Björn could go more into that when the ICO and those things are happening.
Yeah, this will happen in summer, beginning in summer, late summer. Maybe some few words regarding the background. We are in the working and partnering with Genius X, as you also mentioned. So having with them also private rounds and talking with investors, that's one aspect, and then having the IDO in the late summer. That is the plan so far.
Okay, very cool. I'll tap into all that and put the links for all that information down in the video description and show notes for this, so that anyone that wants to find out more about the token sale, they can, the ISPO and also the ICO at a later date. a lot of things to look forward to on this platform, and I'm really interested to see how it all falls into place. What is the timeline looking at? When will we be able to actually interact with some sort of social media platform and broadcast our message to go clean up the beach in the future?
Yeah, I think these are both parts, right? We have on the one hand the NFT plot sale, so that is the one aspect, and then launching the app that will also happen in summer for iOS and Android. And after that happened, we have these both aspects coming together, and from that point on, people can interact, they can use it. Of course, we will add further functionalities, but that is the base and the starting point. So just some few months, and we have a running system.
Wow, very soon. Okay, like usually when I hear these, interviews and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, well, 6 months to a year down the track, we might see something maybe. But in summer, so that's only what 3 or 4 months window, really. Is that's right, 3 or 4 months?
Yeah, late summer. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Very, very cool. I'm very looking forward to this one, and I really like a lot of the aspects that you've described here. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on the podcast. It's been a pleasure learning all about Smart Places Protocol and finding out more information about it. Now, I know you have a white paper that's being listed on the new website as well, so I'll make sure people get the links to that to find out and learn more about how the entire platform works.
Exactly, yeah. There you find a lot of information, especially in the light paper on the new website. We are looking totally forward if people also visit us on our Discord channel. We have a lot of discussions there, a lot of, I think now 4,800 members, so it's amazing.
Ooh, that's a big community. That's decent.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate to be here. I have seen a lot of your videos, and I have never been here, so I really appreciate you having taken the time to have us on.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pete.
Thank you so much for having us.
Now, if you are listening and watching this before the 30th of April, then you probably get a chance to check out the project at least before this NFT sale. You can check it out, see what it's like, and if you want to participate in it, go ahead, please do. It's quite an interesting NFT launch. I had to play around with their mechanism, their map at the moment, and I really like how it's implemented. How it will look within the app, I don't know, but we're going to watch this one grow over time and see how they implement all these mechanisms in place. When their ISPO does start, I will do an update video about this so that you can learn more about how their ISPO works, how many tokens are out, etc. Oh, I actually did do a video of it, top right hand corner there, and you can check out the details, the breakdown, and everything else that you can find about it, or at least what I found out about it so far. Now, out of full disclosure, I am a Genius Yield ambassador, and this project is part of the Genius X Accelerator program. So I do have a vested interest in this one here. So please take that into account when looking over this project. Again, I'll put all the links to the project down below in the video notes so that you can read up and find out more about how the project works and what their future plans are going to be. They do have their white paper available now as well on their brand new website. So please read up, check that all out, join their communities and learn more about the project in general. Now, if you really enjoy this type of content, please consider giving me that thumbs up, click subscribe, click on the notification bell, and hear more from me soon. See you next video.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debate.